A Middle East analyst who's in our Berlin studios. Good evening to you. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. The finger of suspicion is pointing very firmly towards Syria in relation to who may have planted this bomb that killed the security chief. Why would he have been targeted by Syria if that is the case?
Well, I mean, really that is inevitable because so much of Lebanese politics is defined in relation to Syria, whether anti or pro. But so far, the only evidence we've got are the rantings of a few politicians who've made their careers out of being anti-Syrian. It is important to remember, though, that this man, Mr. Al-Hassan, was involved in the arrest and charging of a pro-Syrian Lebanese minister back in August who was accused of working with the regime in Damascus and bringing in bombs from Syria into Lebanon to cause internal strife. He has, though, caused a lot of internal conflict within Lebanon. He was involved with the arrest of up to 100 Lebanese citizens accused of spying for Israel. And, of course, he was accused in leaks from the Special Tribunal for Lebanon of possibly being involved, or having a weak alibi at the very least, of involvement with the murder of the former Prime Minister Rafiq al-Hariri. So he's offended large portions of the Lebanese political umbrella, if you like, from both sides. And it's really not clear which direction the finger can point at this early stage.
That is very confusing, isn't it, for analysts and for pretty much everyone trying to sort of get a handle on what's going on here. I mean, if it is Syria, one would have thought that they've got enough on their plate dealing with the rebel movement in Syria itself. And it's almost as if they're trying to say to Lebanon, look, we haven't forgotten you. We're still in control. We can still reach out to you and do what we want.
Well, that's exactly what the anti-Syrian wing of the Lebanese opposition have been saying. They've been saying that Syria is trying to export the conflict into Lebanon to divert international attention, to take the pressure off the regime in Damascus, to take the pressure off what's happening within Syria and refocus that attention on Lebanon. It really is unclear who is to blame, but I think one of the key important points to remember here is that Marwan Sharbel, a minister in the Lebanese government and a member of the pro-Syrian faction, has admitted that this man was threatened potentially by the Syrian regime. So fingers are pointing in that direction, but it's still unclear to say exactly who is to blame at this stage.
It must be difficult for this coalition government in Beirut to function properly if you have some key members of that government being pro-Syria and some being anti-Syria. I mean, how does that work in practice?
Well, the coalition at the moment is largely anti-Syrian. There are, of course, members of Walid Jumblat's bloc who are very, very much in the anti-Syrian bloc. But no, the government is largely pro-Syrian. And it's that fault line that's defined Lebanese politics really since 2005, when former Prime Minister Rafiq al-Hariri was killed. And it's oscillated between pro-Syrian and anti-Syrian governments. And really, very little has happened in Lebanon politically in terms of the failing infrastructure, in terms of any domestic politics, because all sides of parliament, all coalitions, all umbrellas in the Lebanese political system have been so very firmly focused on what's happening in Syria, whether they're allied to Syria and Iran or whether they're allied to Saudi and France and the US. So very little has happened because they've been playing out this international fight.
Very interesting indeed. Al-Makhadhi, it's good to talk to you. Thanks for joining us. Thank you.